Hello, good afternoon. This is Dr. Stephen Evans. I'm the editor-in-chief, publisher, and several other duties these days for Outclick Magazine. This afternoon, we are super excited to talk to Stephen Neal and Jeff Neal, also known as the Synergy Twins. Welcome to the program this afternoon.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Hey, boys. It's great to talk to you. I feel like we're talking to everyone in a tube and a tunnel these days as we've seen everybody in their homes. You all are some good Southern boys like me. Tell us where you're from and where you're at these days.
Well, we actually grew up in Virginia, right outside of Vienna, Virginia. And then I moved down to South Carolina to go to university in 2004. And I've just been staying here ever since.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're local to Greenville, South Carolina, but we're like in the little surrounding cities. You know, it's more what do you call it? Like affordable out here. I'm in the boonies. So.
And you all are identical twins, not fraternal twins, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, when we were born, so we were born with an emergency C-section. So Stephen was supposed to be born first, you know, and then they I guess got me first, but the doctor said that our mom didn't need to get a test because of, I guess I forget the medical reasoning, but we've actually never gotten the test to prove it. But
oh wow, okay,
yeah. But if it's like if one egg split, the same egg splits into two, that's identical.
Identical.
They were able to.
My high school biology teacher would be frowning at me right now. The haploid or diploid, I forget the reason why, but yeah.
So you are amazing violinists. You have come here to Fort Lauderdale several times. You have quite the following here when the name Synergy Twins comes up. People definitely know who you are. We had your website up earlier, but you play electric violins. If you want to tell us a little bit about that. And so I've got my staff here in the background. They're fiddling with our other camera, so you'll see them in the background. But we've really enjoyed the videos. But tell us about your violins. They're so different. I'm a pianist and an organist, but I don't know anything about your violins. Tell us about those.
Do you want to tell them, Jeff, about your Viper? Oh, I think he's having...
But am I still... Oh, I'm back, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry. My alarm went off. I don't know why. But anyways, yeah, so I play on a 7-string electric violin called a Viper, and I got it with frets. And it's made by Wood Violins, and you use like a chest piece so it like supports the instrument, and then a little strap that goes around. You hook it up here, and I should have brought it up. I just brought the other one, but I can actually go lower than a cello as far as my range, and but I also can do like the violin range, viola range. And what's really cool about it is you can use a lot of effects. So I put a lot of reverb, delay. I EQ it to get like the right tone, and then you can also add crazy stuff like distortion, or you can loop. There's so like my effects board is right here. I'll show you it real quick since it's right in front of me. But this one board right here, you can I think you can have over like 300 different effects, and you just click on the different knobs and adjust the settings as you want. Oh, if you're gonna pan on me, here it is again.
There we go.
ME80. I should get some a cut for advertising that. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But it allows you to do a lot of things that an acoustic violin wouldn't allow you to do.
So I guess that's my question: is what it has 7 strings. So a traditional violin has I'm not a string player, has 4 or 5 normally. 4. So it adds the depth of the viola and a cello.
Yeah.
Okay, fascinating. So tell me a little bit about your great-grandfather. That's a really fascinating story, and during the Depression, and how he came to make some violins.
So our grandfather grew up in a small mining town called Garrett, Pennsylvania, and he wanted to learn how to play the violin, but his family couldn't afford one. His father, so our great-grandfather, Harry Neal, he was a town blacksmith. And one day he just got a book on how to make a violin. He forged all of the tools that he needed with the blacksmith. And then he made a violin, and actually have one of them that he made. This one was in 1933. It's missing the A string. I was actually going to do a recording on it, and then the day of it broke. I was like, well, I guess he didn't want me to record that song, this violin.
Wow.
But yeah, he made 5 violins in total. Jeff actually has one that he can play for you in a little bit. One of them is in a museum, last we heard, in Garrett. And if you all check your attics, there are 2 violins that we don't know about. So yeah, we're actually trying to find them. So if you do have them in your attic, we'd love to get in touch.
So how would you know that that's where's the markings, or how would someone know? Is
So
it
like,
on there?
these are called. Oh, do you want us to explain it?
No, Jeff, you can explain.
Oh, so these are called F holes, and if you look inside, there will be a little rectangular like tag on it, or paper, and it will say, well, this one says, let me see real quick. It'll say Harry Neal, Garrett, Pennsylvania, and then the year it was made. So this one was made in 1934, and you can't really like look into it right now. You kind of have to like angle it, but that's how you tell. And it looks like it was, this one at least looks like it was written on a typewriter. And yeah, so I don't know the years that when he made the first and second one, or the third one, because we never seen them. But yes, Steve's was made in 1933, and this is 1934. So
Wow. And he was the town blacksmith who taught himself how to make a violin. I think that's fascinating.
yeah, he went to the back, I guess, the old-fashioned YouTube. You can't YouTube how to make a violin, so he went to the library and figured it out.
Wow. I'm amazed at how an instrument of that age looks new. I mean, to keep the wood, and how it hasn't been scratched or damaged, and how I mean, I know it's kept in a case, but at the same time, something of that age.
I think
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely damaged mine. Well, is it appropriate to say the name of the bar?
yeah, Jeff, it wasn't bad.
So Steve and I went to record in Nashville, and after we were done, we were there for 2 or 3 days, I can't remember, staying with our friends. And then afterwards, they took us to a local lesbian bar called Hot Lips, and then they were doing karaoke night. And then so we did demo down to Georgia because we had our violin, so we played. And then I jumped off the stage. It was like a small, maybe 1 or 2 foot stage, nothing big. But and then I didn't realize that I jumped, I guess, too enthusiastically, and then I hit the violin a little bit on a table, and it kind of cracked. But I repaired it. It sounds good as new. They put a nice little French polish on it, so it looks better than it did before I had that incident.
Wow. You're going to play something for us on that one, I believe.
Sure. Like, during the break, I normally play, the 7th string, so this one feels a little weird, but
Okay.
I practiced for 3 minutes, so
Okay.
like a 10-second little cool string crossing thing. This is from the Bach Chaconne.
Okay.
Here we go. A 5 out of 2. Hey. I don't know. I just made that ending up. It's not how it really goes, but there you go. That's how it sounds, and it has a great sound, especially coming from someone that's never learned with that taught himself. So
yeah. So one of my questions is, do you all play by music or by ear? But I'll let you answer that, and then I'll tell you my side of the musical story.
Well, I used to use sheet music all the time, and now I guess, I'm not really in the classical world like when I was in college and right after college. So a lot of it's by ear, and then if I'm like struggling to figure out how a song goes, then I'll look at the music. Or if I'm just too lazy and instead of trying to do it by ear, I have the sheet music, I'll look at that. But I guess it's kind of a hybrid of both, and it depends on the style. Like Celtic Irish music that has a lot of fast notes, I'd rather just print off the music and learn it. But if it's a pop song where you just have to learn the bridge and chorus, it's a lot easier just to figure it out and not use the music.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, everyone, when you start, you learn with music, and if you're learning like a super hard classical concerto, which I haven't done for many years, you use sheet music. You buy normally like the Urtext edition that hasn't, that's like the original, and then you use music. But yeah, if I'm learning pop songs, I normally try to memorize the lyrics. So like let's say I'm doing Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, Rain on Me. I listen to that 2 to 3 hours on repeat, so I can repeat every single lyric, and then just try to mimic the lyrics in the playing. But yeah, I also buy the sheet music too. And that one, they were like, Ariana was way harder to learn than Lady Gaga because she does all those vocal like melismas or like ooh, or I don't know how to do it. So I just broke down. I was like, it's too hard, Ariana. I got the music.
But another thing is like sometimes the riffs that singers or vocalists do don't translate really well in the violin. And if you try and play every single note, it sounds bad. It just sounds like busy. So you have to like simplify what they're doing to like make it sound better.
Yeah. I play the piano and the organ and handbells, and if you give me a choral anthem on Sunday morning, I can probably fake it accompanying and making out a song. I can probably fake it. I can't play anything by ear, absolutely nothing. So it's just this joke that I can fake a lot of things if you give me the music. Can't play anything by ear, nothing. And I was trying when I took organ lessons, I was trying to transpose, and I was organist for chapel, got to do a lot of things, and I was trying to transpose, and my organ teacher said, "You're wasting your time." Because I was never going to learn to transpose. But so I'm always amazed when people can play by ear and pick up tunes by ear, because I never developed that. So you all kind of have a hybrid. I think that's fascinating.
Well, yeah, we've kind of developed into the hybrid. It wasn't always like that. And then sometimes it's through doing different gigs, and especially if we have our violins and let's say we go to, I don't know, somewhere on the drive and there's a live band and we want to kind of step in and they let us. We've learned to kind of improvise with the bands by just kind of doing it live on the spot.
I would give anything to be able to do that.
Another funny thing though,
quick, if you've seen us at the pub, sometimes it takes some cherry bombs to work up the courage to do that. But then once you get past the fear, then you're golden. But you don't want to watch the videos the next morning on Facebook, because then you're like, oh, I thought I was great.
Another thing.
Go ahead.
One of our teachers in high school said, there are going to be songs or pieces in your life and orchestra that you're not going to be able to like play all the notes. And he taught us the art of like faking. And Jeff and I did this symphony gig a few years ago, and we played this obscure song by Prokofiev called like The Fruit or something. And it had like it was all 16th notes at like quarter note equals 180. So we're talking like super fast. Mm-hmm. And then it had like double sharps. The next note was double flat and blah, blah, blah. So as long
basically,
as you just like
impossible to play.
Impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you just like kept your bow on the right string and you kind of moved your fingers and you didn't draw attention to yourself, that's how we got through it.
You gotta like be relaxed when you're faking and like just keep like a relaxed face and just be like whatever, I got it. But if you're like intensely looking, like that person's definitely faking it.
Yeah. When I directed a handbell choir, I always told them, if you make a wrong note, look at the person next to you and make it look like it was their fault. Nobody will know it was them and not you.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. What was I going to ask you? So you've got one video that's really cool. It's 4 of you, the shape of you. And it's got 4 of you. We'll pull that up. So a couple of us are working the video. I want to show the video. So did you overlay 2 different tracks of each of you? It looks like that's what you did.
Yeah. So Stephen took 2 parts. I like the 2 violin parts. I took the viola and the cello part, and then we, used the green screen and filmed, I think, 1 at a time, right?
Yeah, we did 1 at a time.
And then so like when Stephen was doing the violin part, I was just out of the shot, and then I went in, and then you had to like there were like 4 X's that we had to stand in, so we didn't get in each other's way because we weren't live doing it next to each other, and then we had to get 2 different outfits so we looked kind of different.
Yeah. So this is two of you and then two of you, but you're actually got four tracks that you've overlaid that you've recorded together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I like that. That was a really interesting effect.
Oh, thanks.
Do you remember which one is which one?
Yeah, I'm in the middle.
I'm on
Let me
the
pull up. I've lost my thing. That's
outside.
that one, and then this one. May it be. Pull up the May It Be one.
We've got a really
I don't know why
story
I
about this one.
wore short sleeves during this, but in the middle of Alaska, but I did.
This one's really beautiful. We're gonna pull it up.
So we actually,
Yes,
our
you're
friend,
not dressed for the climate, but go ahead.
our friend Mark owns the only Irish bar in Juneau, Alaska, called the Lucky Lady, and we happened to meet him through our cruise ship experiences, and now we play there every St. Paddy's Day. And a few years ago, we decided that we'd film a music video at one of these beautiful locations. So when we're trying to get there, and of course it's in the middle of winter, and you have to cross like rivers and different things. And the videographer is like supposed to be our guide. And we actually got lost going to the location. And he had to he pulled out his drone and like, was like, oh, we're like a mile off course. We've got to backtrack. And meanwhile, there's like wolf footprints like that have been there. And
There were two ways to get to the waterfall right there, and then the one we took, it got too dicey. Like when we would step it, we'd fall through ice, and it got really cold, and then it was impassable. So we had to figure out the way to use the the high pass to get to the waterfall, and then we just used the drone footage to figure it out. But
and
it was fun.
The rivers were frozen, but then they thought that it had started to melt underneath, so that's why we couldn't like pass the river or the rivers. So it was quite an interesting experience. And then when we got to the filming place, someone was doing Tai Chi, and we had to wait for him to finish his routine.
Yep.
You can see all of your footsteps leading up to it, but yeah, you can see it.
Yeah,
Well, that was
I
I guess it's like a tourist attraction or something. So a lot of people had been there, and it's just a pleasant little, I guess, place to visit when you're in Juneau, or I guess for the locals.
It reminded me of a story. I guess it's true. I've always heard that when they tape The Sound of Music, and Julie Andrews is up on the hill, when you can see the grass is blowing, and they say, I've heard it's blowing because it's the wind from the helicopter and the camera, and the rumor is the helicopter had to get so close for the camera that it knocked her down 2 or 3 times. The wind was so strong, knocked Julie Andrews to the ground. I've always wondered if that was true or not. So
I have
It
no
probably
idea.
is.
yeah.
I actually thought that was a green screen, so I'm behind the times.
Do you have any funny behind the scenes? I've shared some of mine in playing and music. Do you have any behind the scenes stories like that that's funny? We'll put you on. You can even think on it if you need to come back to it. But you had to have broken a string or fallen off the stage or something at some point.
Definitely. For whatever reason, my E string and my G string always break. And it's happened at the pub multiple times if you've seen us. And then
no gay jokes.
The worst is when it happens when we used to headline on cruise ships full time. Thankfully, we moved away from that, so we weren't too affected by it. This stuff, but the worst is when we're on a cruise performance and it's kind of more formal, especially if they have us play on a formal night. We have to wear a suit and everything just to abide by the dress code. And then my E string pops, and then normally I think Steven can tell because I look at him and there's like a expression of fright. What do I do? And then I try to tell him to I do this, I think, and then I run to the back and I always carry multiple strings, and I restring it, and then I don't know, Steven does whatever he has to do to the show must go on.
Well, I think the scariest moment was we were on a ship for about four weeks, and on our final concert, the final show, Jeff's violin just stops working like 5 minutes before the show. And thankfully, we had been with the band, and I changed the set list because Jeff plays, the melody for some of them, and I don't really know the melody like he does for those ones. So I threw in a tune like "Call Me Maybe," and some other. Our friend Dana was the pianist, and she always loved playing that one. I was like, "Okay, Dana, we're gonna do 'Call Me Maybe' for you, and we're gonna do all these things." And we're advertised as Synergy Twins. So I came out and I did the opening number by myself. And I was like, "Oh, we're Synergy Twins." And I was like, "Oh, but you're only getting one tonight." Or I don't know what I said. But basically, Jeff and I have, talking points that we go back and forth with each other. And it was really hard, being thrown in the spotlight of just having to like do the show by myself and not being like, "Oh, I wonder what I'm going to talk to the audience about this after this number." It was kind of scary, but I made them pause the show for 5 minutes, and I went and had a glass of Pinot Grigio to like kind of calm my nerves.
Yeah.
Well, meanwhile, backstage, since we were on that ship forever and we were on that line for a while, we've got to know so many of the crew and all the backstage guys and everything. They're called the Men in Black, and they're all Filipinos, and Holland America always hires them to do their sound, lighting, all that stuff. So while Steven was on stage, they got this like soldering device. They're trying to solder the connections to make it good, and at one point we thought it was good, and then I tried to go on stage, and then I wasn't getting any signal, and then I had to like run backstage. It was like, it was so stressful. But
yeah, and we did another show on a cruise ship where our mom is a vocalist, an Irish singer guitar player, and she joined us up on stage when we had a cruise ship show. And then for the rest of the cruise, she was known as Bumsy, and she had a blast being known as like the local celebrity on board, and everyone would be like, "Oh, hey, Bumsy," and so she enjoyed that.
We try to make our shows impromptu as I can when we can.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever watch? This is going to date me older than you. Did you watch the Carol Burnett show that was on TV years ago?
What was the
title?
The Carol. It was called the Carol Burnett Show. Apparently,
the Nope.
So
the Carol
it was
Baskin show, though.
it was a classic show, Carol Burnett, and they did comedy. It was sketch comedy. And before the show, she would go out and it was called Let's Bump Up the Lights. And they would let the audience members ask her questions. And she did not want to do it. And she said, "I really don't want to do this." And she said, "I don't think people will ask me questions." And it became one of the most famous parts of the TV show was her going out in a nice evening gown. And people would ask her the craziest questions, what was her chest size and who she kissed and all this. But then she also got known for doing her Tarzan yell. And she would do her Tarzan yell. So it became one of the most famous parts of TV history in the 70s. Is Carol Burnett's. You'll have to YouTube it. And there's some specials called Let's Bump Up the Lights, and when she talked to the audience and they pan to the audience. So you'll have to do that with your audience. Let them ask you some questions sometime like that.
Maybe not at the pub.
I think the questions we get at the pub after people have been drinking might not be appropriate.
Those might be even better. You just never know.
I guess we can try it once and see how it goes.
Yeah. You've got another really cool video, the Crystallize. I'm going to get Chandler to pull that one up. I tried to find where let's pull it up because this is beautiful. Where it was filmed.
Yeah. So when we were 9, we grew up in Vienna, Virginia, and then at the public school we went to, everyone in 4th grade, it was the 4th grade field trip. And we go to a place called the Ray Caverns, and it's, I think, the largest cavern system in the States. And so Steve and I were figuring out how to launch, I think, our 2017 year, and then we were like, let's do a really cool dubstep cover of Lindsey Sterling Crystallize, and like actually film it in a cave. But Lindsey Sterling does it in these ice area somewhere. But I thought this setting was even like a little cooler than that. And so yeah, this is just in Luray, Virginia. It's called Luray Caverns, and
it was really cool.
Yeah, we got our private tour there, and we went and filmed, and it was a lot of fun.
And the I guess, you have to submit in order to be able to film in Luray Caverns. And the guy that we talked to said that we were like one of only a select few audiences or artists that were approved to film there. And so I thought that was like an honor to be able to film there if, they reject a ton of people. And then we got the behind the scenes story where apparently there's like ghosts living in the caverns, and so all the staff don't go there by themselves, or they don't like to be the ones like closing at night because they'll say they like, the rushing of wind, and they'll think it's like the ghost or something.
Mhm.
I think they have to be like 2 people at a time or something, or
I
just
just,
in case,
if you've ever seen the movie The Descent, it's that horror film where they all go down in the caverns, and that's kind of like what it reminded me of when they were telling me about the ghosts. I'm like, I definitely don't want to be the last one out.
Nope.
Well,
But-
I'm from Kentucky, and I'm from Kentucky. We have Mammoth Cave, Kentucky, and I've been in some caves like that. So that would have been my guess. But this is someplace different. Did you all set up all that lighting, or was it like that already?
So basically, when we got there, the guys that made the video for us, they forgot their lighting. So then, thankfully, Luray Caverns has their own lighting, and they were able to assist. But that was actually another behind the scenes that was so stressful because we had to pay to rent that venue for the night. I think we got it from 5 p.m. till 10 or something. And then so when they showed up and we were thinking that they wouldn't have lights, like it would have just been a dark mess. But
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful how it's lit.
They provided all the lighting for us. So
pop quiz: which one are the stalactites and which one are the stalagmites?
Oh gosh,
I don't remember either.
Wait, stalagmite. Stalactites are the ones that go down. Stalagmites are the ones that go up.
I agree.
Okay, I think the consensus here in the office is that's the. Wait, Arthur says it's the other way.
Oh shoot!
Stalactites are tight against the ceiling, and stalagmites stand
mighty. And so I think that's what he said. They come down. Yeah. So this is our educational part of the program to learn which is which.
But really cool. Or back in the day when this was first discovered and people were touring, they would let you take a stalagmite or stalactite and you could bring it home with you. And then finally they realized what a horrible impact that was to the natural cavern. And then so you can see there like little patches of areas where people took the stalactites.
I'm gonna play it again.
Stalagmites. And then when you take them, for whatever reason, I think they grow back, but it takes millions of years. So it's gonna be like
even if you like touch it, the oils on your finger prevent it from growing or something.
Yeah.
And of course, I have to ask, how did you get the light up bows? We lost the screen. Here it goes. How did you did you go to the toy store and buy lightsabers?
You could take your bow, and then you hold on, I'm trying to get there we go. You can tape a 9-volt battery here. You tape an LED strip to the bow. You connect the wires at the end of the LED strip to the they're red and black cables at the end of a LED strip, and you tape it, or you can, however you want to do it, you can put it into the 9-volt battery, and then and it lights up.
Well, I assumed you went up bought lightsabers and just put them in for that quick shot, but that seems to work much better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's that's a cool video. You guys are really fun. I'm glad we got to chat. I don't want to take too much of your time. We had some other points that we'll continue with those later, but tell us just give us a little bit about what it's like to not perform and all of the COVID that's going on. I don't want to be too down, but what's it been like? And my last question I always ask people is, what encouraging words do you have for people who are going through this very difficult time?
So I've actually used this time to like practice, because Jeff and I were on the road so much that it's hard to like carve out time to practice, because you might have a day at home, but then we've got to go to Richmond or we go down to South Florida, and I didn't have a consistent time to practice. And thankfully, we've been building our business on land since 2017, and we have had you know, a lot of success in the past year. So even though it really did hurt us financially, we were still able to like use the time to hone our talents and kind of take a break from touring life. And so that's what I did. I used my time to get better at the violin. So next time you hear us live, hopefully you can tell that it sounds better.
Well, I think when you said it didn't hurt us financially, I mean, it did. We lost every single gig that we had. But also we've been able to, I've used this time to, I do think the future of performance, like I don't think, we've been virtually performing a lot. So every Sunday, you know, we go live on our Facebook page and perform virtually. And I do think that there is a future for that. And that even, let's say, hopefully that this all goes away, I think that virtual performance will still be a thing so that people can tune in from the comfort of their own homes and like see the artists that they want without, you know, having to travel or fly or drive or do all that stuff. So I've used this time to we work with Matt Morgan, who owns the old Edwin McCain studio. You know that song, "I'll be your crying shoulder."
Mm-hmm.
I can't sing, but he owns that studio now, and we've been working with him to really get great audio quality for virtual performances. Like when we started, our audio was terrible, but now, yeah, we're just making improvements on how to kind of change with the times. And I think that we will always do virtual performances, whether it is every Sunday or we change it up, or you know.
The good thing though is that, you know, all of our gigs did get canceled, but we're starting to see more people ask us about different events. And so we did this one wedding last week, but instead of it being the entire wedding party, it was just the, you know, the close family and relatives of, you know, the bride and groom. So people are finding ways to still do their events. And actually, they didn't really social distance.
They did, but we were under the trees in the shade,
yeah, we were
because it was outside.
And I came down with Corona back in March, so I don't really have to worry, I guess, as much as Jeff, because he hasn't had it yet. So when everyone's like, "Oh, you want to do a bar gig?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can go." But we always encourage all of our, you know, fans and friends to practice the social distancing, wear your mask, you know, stay 6 feet apart, and do all of that, so you can at least enjoy the concert, but as safely as possible.
Yeah, we've adapted to just be playing outside. So, you know, this week we're going to be at a new brewing company in Greenville, but we will be outside, and that way everyone can, you know, come. You can get, you know, it will be very easy to follow the guidelines.
And they're allowing people to bring their own like camper chairs, and you know, everyone's very lax about you know, letting the customers sit where they want or whatever, so that they can feel safe. And
gotta adapt with the times.
Yep.
We are going Friday night. We're going. One of the hotels is having a drive-in movie somehow on the hotel property. So they're allowing 300 cars, and it's 300 only. So we're going back to the drive-in days. I'm taking my 13-year-old Lexus convertible, and we're going to a drive-in.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
We were born in the 80s, but we never got to do that. So I think that would be really fun if that kind of starts catching on again, because I've seen some people doing that, or some theaters, but I'm in Spartanburg. We're kind of slow to catch on the trends. So, but when it picks up, that's kind of something I've always wanted to do.
Yep.
I'm jealous.
We'll get you down here to do an outdoor concert. Well,
Sure.
you guys have
we'd
been
love to.
You guys have been so much fun to talk to. I'm really glad we got a chance to chat. And I look forward to seeing you again. We'll maybe do a little follow-up. There's some other things we didn't get to cover, but I really appreciate talking to you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Tell us, my last question always too is, how do we find you online?
So you just go to Facebook and type in Synergy Twins, or search us on YouTube. We're not really that active on Instagram, but we have one.
Our website is synergytwins.com, and we have our tour schedule there. So we always put, the city, the date, the time, and what type of event it is, so that if we're coming to your city, you can go ahead and check it out and see when we'll be there.
Although
Cool.
currently there aren't any besides this Saturday.
Well,
Oh, you can always
too,
catch
could
us
also-
Sunday too. Sunday 1 to 4. We do a quarantine. Well, I guess it's now social distancing virtual brunch on our Synergy
Okay.
Twins Facebook page.
okay.
And real quick, if you have an Alexa or any, you can say, Alexa, play music by Synergy Twins, and you can stream us on there. So or Google, or I don't know, those kind of things. So we're up, and we're on iTunes. So
Oh,
I think
on
that
your
covers it
iTunes?
all.
Yes, we put up your YouTube and iTunes and your Facebook. So, well, definitely have to tune into your Facebook Live. Those will be great. Thank you
Sure.
guys. Thank you guys. We look forward to you coming back down to the beaches. The beaches are open, and the restaurants are open as of now, and the clubs are next. So it's coming back around soon. So we look forward to talking to you again.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Well, we'll see you on the drive sometime soon.
We'll see you out on the drive. Sounds good. Stay safe, guys. We appreciate you. Don't forget, we are outclick.com, and you can text OCQ to 22828 for more information about us. Thanks, you guys. It's been a blast.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
You too.
You too.